Are you a first-time home buyer and you want to know what types of houses you should be focusing on for your first home? Most buyers focus on trendy staging and perfect finishes, but that's not where the opportunity is. Best types of homes to buy are typically hiding in plain sight. As a real estate agent, I've seen thousands of homes. I've helped buyers buy properties, in addition to owning quite a few properties myself. And in this video, I'm going to use that experience, that knowledge, to show you exactly what to look for. Have you ever passed on a home that wasn't pretty and you should have made that move? And right now, in this market where the best deals aren't obvious, if you're only chasing what's shiny and new, you might actually be missing out on the best buys. Homes with strong bones, good location, updated mechanicals, and in some cases hidden upsides that others are overlooking completely. And by the end of this video, you'll know specific types of homes that will offer you long-term value and greater resale value and higher equity. And what we're talking about is resale value, if you ever decide to sell that home. With that said, the very first type of home I want to focus on in this video is that well-maintained home. Now, this is the type of house that many people walk into and it screams dated. It's not flashy. It might not be turnkey. And in some cases, it has things that you want to get rid of right away. This is the property that might have that green carpet. It might even have wallpaper on some of the walls, but it's the home that you could see that the seller took really good care of. These are the homes that have the new roofs. These are the homes that have new air conditioning. These are the houses that have new furnaces. These homes might even have a new roof and windows. All the plumbing has been done. All the electrical is done. There's nothing to worry about. But what it doesn't have is that new updated kitchen. It might not have the open concept. In fact, you're probably thinking you know homes exactly like this. They probably belong to your parents or your grandparents. These types of homes are underestimated. And it's just because it's not trending right now on Instagram, HGTV, or any other television or social media. But when you can buy a home that's been well maintained and has great bones, that's when you're buying a house that's actually going to save you money. These are homes when there was ever an issue, the seller took care of them right away, regardless of the expense. They made sure the structure, the bones, the mechanicals were all in working order. They wanted to avoid problems. They never found the value in updating the home's appearance. And why I like these homes so much is basically, as a first-time home buyer, you're spending less because all the items that needed to be done have been maintained. The home is maintained properly. These are homes that you can move in and do upgrades, aesthetic upgrades, cosmetic updates over time. You don't have to spend all this money to move in. And you're not spending money on costly items like the roof, like the air conditioning, like the heating, like the electrical or the plumbing. It's all been maintained. All you're doing is the small cosmetic tweaks. It's a lot easier to replace carpeting and painting walls than it is fixing air conditioning, heating, and plumbing issues. And never mind the roof. And as you're saving money, you can do the small tweaks that you want to do. And all this is doing is adding value to the property. Let's talk about bungalows and single-level homes. And the reason why I love these homes is they're in such high demand. And they'll always be in high demand. Just because the demographics are getting older and older. There's a lot of people that own two-story homes, and as they age, they can't climb those stairs properly anymore. And what they're doing is they're looking for single-level, single-story homes or bungalows. What they're doing is they're downsizing from these larger homes into these bungalows. So bungalows essentially really hold their value because there's always a demand for them. And a lot of the new construction that's being done isn't about single-story or bungalows. They're all two-story homes. Supply and demand again. They're not building bungalows, they're only building 2 stories. It means the value of bungalows and single-level homes is just going to increase over time because they're not building them readily. In addition to that, single-level homes or bungalows are easy to expand. You can add additions easily. You can even add a second floor if you really, really wanted to. I wouldn't, but you could. And another big plus about bungalows is they're efficient. They're easy to cool, easy to heat, and generally speaking, they cost less to maintain. And I actually sell in the community that where bungalows sell at a premium compared to 2-story homes. And that's just because we have an aging population. They have money to spend and they will pay the premium to have a single level or a bungalow home. And the last thing I'm going to say about these bungalows is that they often feel bigger than they really are. And it's just because everything is on one floor. the home seems way more spacious. So the bungalow will give you that space that you really need. And don't forget about the basement. Whatever's on the top floor is also included in the basement. So you're getting lots of value for your dollar. By the way, my name is Julian. I'm a realtor here in the GTA, and I make videos about living in Toronto and the surrounding areas. So if you're thinking about buying a house, my contact information is below. I'd love to work with you guys. And if you don't mind, do me a huge favor. Hit that bell icon and subscribe to keep updated on it for everything that's happening here in the GTA. And the next type of property I want to focus on is new construction. And that's because the market has shifted. Higher unemployment levels, higher interest rates, all play a factor. So builders have a lot of inventory that they need to get rid of. And a lot of times these builders are offering incentives. So you get free upgrades, you get $100,000 worth of upgrades, you get appliances, you get a whole bunch of different things that's being included where we haven't seen in 10 or 20 years. And I'm not saying this is the reason why you should buy new construction homes, but if you are thinking about a new construction home, here's a couple of benefits you might not realize. I like buying a new construction if you can get in during phase one of a multi-phase development. Because what happens is you actually benefit from the equity gains during the course of the development as that community develops. As the infrastructure is built, as the additional resources are added, generally speaking, phase one of the development usually appreciates better than all the other phases. And what this does is increase the value of your home. And when you're buying a new construction property, everything is brand new. So there's very little maintenance that you have to worry about. And in many cases, you can design the house the way you want it. You can have those extra finishes that you want. You can choose the hardwood floor. You can choose the paint color. You can choose the kitchen cabinets. But if you are buying a new construction home, make sure you're buying it from a great builder. And don't forget about the home inspection. I'm a big advocate of home inspections. That even applies to new home builds. Don't think that just because you're buying a new home doesn't mean you need that inspection. As a realtor for a long time, I believe that every home needs an inspection. That home inspector will find things that you and I will never find. Regardless if the house is brand new or 50 years old, get the home inspection done. And the reason why I say this, issues will always pop up. I know you might be okay with some of them, but you're better off knowing upfront before these things happen. Next home that we're talking about is the one that's been sitting on the market for a very long time. Maybe it's just ugly, maybe it's overpriced. It's had a few price reductions, but it's still overpriced. It's the home that you've been sitting in the neighborhood that you want and you've been watching, but it's probably being poorly marketed. Sometimes these are the homes that you should consider. If it's been on the market for a long period of time, if they reduce the price a couple times and it's still on the market for a long time, assuming there's no real issue with the house, this might be a great opportunity for you. I can tell you, these types of homes are the best deals in real estate, and especially when the seller is actually motivated to sell. I'm going to let you know that you're going to find cosmetic issues throughout. That's an easy one. But if you can look beyond that and look at the bones of the house, the HVAC, the air conditioning, the heating system, the plumbing, the roof, the windows, you want to make sure your inspector is doing a thorough job on this house. Because when homes sit on the market for an extended period of time, that means there's two things wrong with it. Either the home's overpriced or there's something wrong with it. This is where the inspection comes in. You really need to get that done. And as a buyer, especially a first-time home buyer, don't avoid homes that have been sitting on the market for a long time. Just because you've created a story in your head thinking there's something wrong with the house, nobody else is buying it, without actually knowing what's going on with the house. Next on the list is up-and-coming neighborhoods. These are neighborhoods where there's some type of early stage developing happening. Either a new school, transit systems being put in, a new business is coming to town, a new college, new infrastructure is happening, which will increase demand in the neighborhood. Many times these areas can offer a lower price point now and then appreciate as the new development happens. One of the areas that comes to mind is Georgetown. Recently, they announced the new highway coming really close by. I'm guessing that the resale value in those areas is going to increase just because of the demand created by that new highway. Another example is the Milton area. They're getting a new university or college. That will eventually increase the resale value of homes after the development of the school is completed. So if you're looking for a resale value, these two examples will actually boost the demand. And once you boost the demand, resale value follows. Next on the list is homes in great areas, prime locations. These are homes that always hold their resale values because they're near lakefronts, because they're near attractions, because they're in great school areas. These are highly desirable locations. These will always be in demand. And sometimes these are walkable areas. You can walk to downtown, get to work easily. They're desirable for a specific reason. The nice thing about these areas is they typically stay in high demand. Even in the cooling market that we're in right now, and a lot of times you're paying a premium for these areas. But in many ways, you are protecting your investment because these areas don't fluctuate as much as others. The home value or the resale value is always worth more. And these areas were always going to stay desirable. And the next type of property that I like a lot and I see a lot of, these are homes that are sitting on large lots. In some cases, these are smaller homes with really large lots. So there's a potential of adding on to the house. There's a potential of building a secondary home on the house. There's a potential of building a secondary building on the property. You can actually be splitting the lot and build two different homes on it. And a lot of times buyers skip these types of properties because they don't want to do all the maintenance involved on these larger lots. But there's something you've got to understand when it comes to real estate. The value is in the land. So anytime you have a redevelopment potential, something like adding a new house or expansion of the property, then these are things that you should focus on. Don't forget, you got to pay attention to the zoning laws, the bylaws, and stuff like that. But the bigger the property is, the more flexibility you do have with the home. And the last property we're focusing on is older homes. A lot of these homes have a lot of character. They're older, a little bit more historic. They were built 50, 60, 70 years ago. But traditionally speaking, these homes were built with quality and better materials than they are being built today. These are well-built homes and they have amazing qualities. And on top of that, they have a unique architecture as well as mature landscaping. And these are great opportunities for buyers on a budget because most people are looking for newer homes. You gotta remember, the smart buyers aren't just looking at the finishes. They're looking at the fundamentals, the location, the structure itself, and all that potential these properties have to offer. If you're a home buyer willing to go against the grain and think strategically, the homes that other buyers ignore might be your best investment. So from the list that I just gave you, what do you feel is the best property? Do me a favor and let me know in the comments below. And lastly, if you're a first-time home buyer or a home buyer ready to start looking and you're not sure where to start and you want to work with a real estate agent that understands everything that you're going through and how to find that perfect house, do me a favor and check that link in the description below. You can work with me directly.